Hey everybody, I wanted to bring up the topic today of how the government actually gets money to do what it does in our country here in the USA. We have a free market system, so the private individual owns all of the property in the country, and so how does the government actually get money to do what it needs to do? So there's a few different options here. Here's my rudimentary picture of the USA here, but so let's say the government needs some money for a particular program. There's several ways it can actually get that money. It can tax the people, in which case the money comes directly from the people into the government's coffers. The government can get a loan, which means maybe they go to a country, a European country, and they borrow some money from them and pay that back with interest. Or maybe it's an Asian country where they get the money in the form of a loan and they pay them back eventually with interest. There's another means. The Federal Reserve is the only bank that is allowed to actually print money. So another solution for the government receiving money is that they could actually have the Federal Reserve print off money. Any private individual who did this, it would be considered counterfeit. But since 1913, we've actually given legal authority for the Federal Reserve Bank, which is a private bank, to print off money. And so the government could actually get money that way. And then the last way is to actually steal it, which I don't presume our government does. But back in the days, for example, of Sir Walter Raleigh, who was a famous pirate from England, he used to actually go ahead and head out to the seas and steal from different countries. Perhaps the Spanish take some of the riches from their galleons and give it to the Queen. So there have been examples where a government actually gets money by stealing it. For all intensive purposes, we won't really be focusing on that. But the interesting thing to note is that the only way government can get money is to actually take it from somebody else. When you have a free market where all the wealth is owned privately, then you have to take money from private owners to give it to somebody else. So there's really no such thing as free money from the government. It's always coming from somewhere. It might be coming from another country who we then become indebted to, or it might be coming from productive people who have money to pay in the form of a tax right here in the USA. So the concept of a bailout, for example, really isn't a net gain or loss for anybody, because all the money that we might be taxed, or all the money that's being sent to whoever we're bailing out, is coming from somebody else who's produced that wealth. So it's just a redistribution of wealth. The only authority that the government actually has in a system where we have private ownership of wealth is to redistribute that wealth through the tax and then through the system, the policy that they have to take that money and spend it on something else, some of which are very good causes. We support the poor, for example, poor people with food stamps, or other programs, housing for poor people. And then there's more questionable uses that are coming up right now in this particular point in time, where we're not sure whether we should be giving bankers or auto companies money that other people have earned for themselves. So anyhow, that's where the debate falls. I just want to make sure everybody's clear on how the government gets money. There's no such thing as free money. Even with the printing press that the Fed is, every time they print off money, they actually dilute the value of the money that already exists. So they're diluting the value of our hard-earned money every time they print more money off. So anyhow, hope that creates a little clarity on what the government does with money and how it gets it. Thanks.